When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel.
Well, excuse me!
Looking for good ideas for life? You're far from good hands.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
If you think the listener is always right, you're far from the right place.
Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works!
Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, but a rebel by choice.
Are you threatening me?
If you want a host that floats between love and madness,
and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway. Thinking of you's working up my appetite, looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
All right, guys, listen to this blues riff and B. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
Warning, creators of this game do understand the subject matter may be offensive to some, but they do honor the families and people that have been affected by these real-life tragedies that these individuals have caused. Want to play a game?
Oh, yeah!
Lover of true crime?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well, we got an interesting game for you to check out.
Wow.
With the mashup of influences such as horror movies, collecting cards, and RPGs.
What?
Led to giving birth to an incredible creation of this game, Killers, the card game.
You are all my children now.
This game is a collectible trading card game featuring some of the most infamous killers, with tidbits of trivia on the back of each card to help you learn some insight to each criminal.
Who the hell are you?
Let's not forget, during the game, cops will be chasing you and these criminals.
I'm a cop, you idiot!
However, check out their website listed through all social media today, which can be found under Killers, the card game.
Am I on the internet?
I want to play a game.
Hey guys, my name is Chris Gullace, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio.
Hey folks, it's your least favorite host in the podcast world, Croc, Jonathan Steele. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this next guest is a singer and songwriter that has just released brand new music and actually a brand new video. And first, it premiered worldwide on his YouTube channel. His new single is Nashville, which is a song that is boasting a modern country flair and was produced by, surprisingly, P.T. Houston and Erin McCaffrey, who you heard recently about when we were talking to a previous guest. They work with Off the Road Studios in Nashville. And let's just go ahead and welcome Mr. Chris Gullace. Chris, how the hell are you? Thank you for driving the 45 minutes to an hour, whatever it was, to get over here.
Oh, not a problem. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah, I invited him over to the house because he was close enough by. When I hit that override button, we were talking about that. Born in Brick, work in Asbury Park. So, first and foremost, what's the response been for Nashville?
It's the best response I've ever had. I put it out on my Instagram page, and it has over 12,000 views already after a couple weeks, which is, and without any ads or promotion. So it was just word of mouth, people sharing it. It got shared about 100 times. So that's been a great response. And it's trending on YouTube right now. It's at about 9,000 views, and it seems to be going up every day. So I'm really hopeful we'll get some really big numbers off it.
Nice. But why don't we go ahead and put Nashville in here now?
Mississippi River, God, there was a sight to see. You can take me to Virginia, swear to God I've been there. Swam down at the Florida Keys. Time to get my guitar and head to Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah, that's where they make it, singers who can shake it, right in, head up to head. My name on the bar, an expensive new car. That's a job I'll never quit. I used to be Jersey, now I'm Nashville, Tennessee. Song a day and my wife, she ran away. Said, my God, you are obsessed. If you held my hand like that guitar man, I swear I wouldn't even be dressed. I'm sorry, baby, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Man, I really like the weather, I could stay here forever, writing songs for Taylor and Pink. Drink shots with Darius, smoking on the bus with Willie till we can't even think. Won't you party with me now, Nashville, Tennessee? Won't you party with me now, Nashville, Tennessee? Won't you party with me now, Nashville, Tennessee?
Coming out of Nashville, which you just heard. Obviously, like I said, Jersey guy, all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And what is it about in recent time, I guess? Jersey music, well, I shouldn't say Jersey music, but music in the region was starting to do very well again. Say 2018, 2019. We obviously had the pandemic, affected everybody. Mm-hmm. But since we've come out of the isolation part of the pandemic, music has been trending upward from this region. Any idea why you think that is?
I think people just want to hear like more organic music. You know, they want to hear some more guitar-based music, real vocals, not auto-tuned to death, stuff like that. I've noticed that too. Like rock and country, I looked up the other day, has gone up like 25% in the last few years. So it's definitely trending more towards the singer-songwriter aspect, which is what I've been doing for years. Yeah. I'm a writer, and I love mixing genres and styles, but I'm always like a guitar freak. Every music I do involves guitar, so it's nice to see that it's starting to come back for sure.
Well, I'll bring it up here, obviously, and we'll bounce around a little bit, but since we're talking local music and stuff, obviously, and when I say local music, folks, you know, there's Philly, New York, Jersey, just this quarter of the Northeast has had, don't worry, I'm not drinking that early, it's a Pepsi, folks. fans know I might drink a whiskey during movie watch-alongs and stuff we host. So.
Yeah, I saw that on your page. Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah, it's all good. It's nice and relaxed. The elephant in the room, and I saw you played there as well. The Stone Pony.
Oh yeah, I played it quite a few times.
And obviously, people who hear the name the Stone Pony think of Springsteen, where he first made his mark there. So, what was it like for you playing at such a legendary venue?
It was the most nervous I ever was in my life. I mean, the first show I did was a while ago, but I've been very fortunate. I've opened for a lot of big acts at the Pony. I opened for Revolution. I also opened for Jason Mraz, Brothers Osborne, Dispatch, a lot of great iconic bands, and there's just nothing like it. The Pony is like that stage when you look at all the pictures on the wall and all the guitars that were signed by these legends, like, of course, Bruce Springsteen, Southside Johnny, Bon Jovi, all the guys from our area. I mean, there's just everyone you could think of has gone through that great stage, and it's always a privilege to play there, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And the one video I caught on you, which we'll put links to everything out there, folks, when this is obviously released, as usual with the musicians and different people we have. But the one video I saw on your YouTube channel that I caught because of the way they algorithms and stuff like that was Wagon Wheel.
Oh, yeah.
So that was probably like 5 or 6 years ago at this point. So,
yep.
Do you like doing a lot of covers, or is it mostly your stuff as the singer-songwriter?
Covers are great. People know them, and you get a great response from people in the crowd when they hear something they love. Like Wagon Wheel's like what I call killer songs. Like they just kill every time you do it. Like Wagon Wheel and the Chris Stapleton cover, Tennessee Whiskey, when I do that, and My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, What I Got by Sublime. There's just certain songs, when you play them live, the whole place goes nuts. So you definitely need it when you're an up-and-comer, because no one knows who the hell you are.
Yeah.
You got to play to the crowd. But
Journey, too, would be in that.
Oh, yeah, of course. There's you do a Bruce Springsteen song,
especially
and a Pony, you'll go bananas. But but primarily, I've been writing a lot this year. Since April, I wrote 3 albums.
That's what I was going to say. When I was doing my homework, what kind of pressure is that with trying to put out or write that much content? And obviously, we're in a different genre or not genre, but we're in a different medium as far as music getting released. Mm-hmm. Where back in the day, folks, and I've said this before with other musicians, it's you promote the record, it comes out, you work on the next project after you're done touring, supporting that record. Where now it's you release singles, and it's great. We have Spotify and Apple and all that fun stuff. But what kind of pressure is it for you to now you have 3 albums worth of content? Mm-hmm. How do you go about promoting that and just everything that goes into? Because we're not in this, say, traditional way of the old school.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I kind of was on the way out when it was that style, or I was just starting. But back in the day, you put an album out. It took you 6 months. You had a budget. You'd write it with a couple people maybe. You'd put it out. You'd sell vinyl. You'd sell CDs. You'd do whatever you could. You'd go places, drop them off in mailboxes to record labels, shit like that. But that kind of thing is kind of over now because for good or for better or for worse, Spotify is the equalizer. I can just go on my site and just upload whatever I want, and the world can listen to it.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing. I mean, you don't really necessarily need a record label now, but, with the thing with the other side of the coin is there's so much music coming out. So you don't know where it is. Like, how do you find a new artist? It's just, and honestly, it's all social media now. You gotta pump it. You gotta put it on Instagram, Facebook, X, which was Twitter, and TikTok is huge now. You gotta promote on TikTok. So there's so many things you have to do to promote, but it's definitely equal. Like if you have good stuff, people will find it.
And also, you got with so much content that being able to self-publish and all is good and bad. As far as you have good content, like a lot of the people I have on usually have, but also there's the shitty stuff too that that anybody can. And I'm not knocking anybody I've had on, but there's times you can. What the hell is that coming out for? Why would you? Almost like why would you embarrass yourself that way?
Yeah, I mean, not to throw anyone under the bus, but I've heard people put stuff out that's just not finished or it's not good enough in my ears. I'm just like I've heard people put out just an acoustic thing on Spotify and the guitar's out of tune. Like, why would you put something out when it's not in tune? Like, but people don't know any better. They're just like, oh, I'm gonna get DistroKid or TuneCore subscription. You pay $50 a year for it, and you can put up any music you want forever, which is good and bad. Like you said, like some people aren't getting cultivated and learning their craft; they're just putting stuff out.
Yeah.
And instead of like, which is good because I signed with an indie label last year, 3143 artists, which were in Jersey. Now they're in Vegas, and with them, which is good. Like I'll show them stuff, and they're like, "That works. That doesn't work. You should work on this." You need someone to hear your stuff other than you know? Because you're biased. You don't know what's good or bad. You're just like, I think this is good. And then you show people, and they're like, and everyone's always going to bullshit you. Be like, oh, that was amazing what you did. But they could just be saying that to be nice. Yeah. You don't know for sure. Like, it's good to have professionals behind you that are like, I don't know about that song. It doesn't seem to have a good chorus. You should work on that.
And I'm trying to think of the one tune that, and if I remember the story correctly, I believe it was like Michael Jackson's Billie Jean. Mm-hmm. Or one of them. But I think it was Billie Jean where you have they had the product and they were listening to stuff, putting the album together and going, you know what? It's good, but why don't we do this? And they added the blues guitar to it.
Yeah.
You know, that little riff in the middle of it there.
Yeah.
That hook shit. Or in the Phil Collins song, the famous drum.
Oh yeah,
you know, there, yeah. Where you had that little, like you said, you had the outside ears going. Let's add this little.
Yeah, it needs
piece.
a little signature.
You add that.
Yeah,
and it makes it from good to great to it takes your material to a new level. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's, I mean, just working with my one producer, Pat Noon, who's in Tom's River. He has a great ear. He's been recording people forever. And when we were doing the album that's coming out February 29th, that I did in Jersey, before I went to Nashville, I met Houston and Erin, which they're amazing. But Pat would be listening to my songs and be like, it's too wordy. Like, cut some words out. Like, you're singing too many words. It's getting, people aren't going to be able to sing to it. And I'd be like, oh, I didn't think about that. And I take a word or two, a but or an and out, or this, and you take that out, and it flows so much better. That's why it's great to have good producers around you.
But then again, as a singer-songwriter, how do you go ahead and make that decision? Okay, what am I taking out? What am I keeping? Do you beat yourself up over that?
Lyrics are always the hardest. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I can come up with a groove on guitar, a couple chords. You know, it's been done a million times. You just have to, find something that's unique enough that you're not ripping anybody off and you're just making a cool groove on guitar. But words are tough. You need to have a good story. You need people to remember it. It's got to be memorable, that they can just listen to it once or twice and pick something up. Maybe not the whole song, but like a chorus. They'll get it. Like, I mean, the kings of that were always, in my mind, like the Police. Like, the Police always had the one line, I can't stand losing you. And they would just repeat it over and over again. But it was a catchy phrase. Like, that's the hardest part. You need something catchy that people remember.
It hooks. And
a hook. And they were masters at that. But, yeah, definitely, when someone tells me, oh, that lyric isn't right, it's definitely all right, I got to figure this out. And I'll just keep singing it over and over, and then I'll record it on my phone, on memos, repeat it back, listen back, and I'm like, And it's just process of elimination.
All right, so obviously, we were talking musical influences and stuff earlier from the region, but what was it for you that really stuck with you musically? I heard, and rumor and innuendo on the internet isn't always true. Jimi Hendrix was one, the Beatles was one,
Yeah.
What style did you usually lean towards?
So growing up in the early '90s, grunge was just in my ear.
Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana was huge, but also on the other side of the coin, Sublime, like reggae music, was huge because I'm a beach town guy. So I would always be hearing Sublime being played or Bob Marley, and that style of music really got into my DNA. Like, I love reggae rock music, but and the grunge, Nirvana, of course, was just like
Pearl Jam, that kind of.
Oh yeah, Eddie Vedder is just the soul out of his voice. Just what he can do is crazy. But yeah, that music was huge for me. But the first music definitely was Hendrix. I remember being a little kid and seeing like a rerun of Woodstock or something, and I was like, "What is that? Where can I get one? How can I be like him?" Because I was like, and I'm left-handed, so I was like, he's playing lefty, and I was like, it was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I don't think you'll ever get any cooler than Hendrix when he was in his prime playing. It's unbelievable.
No, exactly. But you actually mentioned, I heard somewhere along the line, internet-wise and all, like I said, everything's always true there, that you said about listen to the words and listen to the melody.
Yeah.
You know, trying to, get people to pay attention, which is more important for you to have people focus on, not only with your stuff, but music in general.
I think the melody is our memory. It's hand in hand. That's what makes you remember the song. So if you got a shitty melody and people are like, they're not going to remember your song. No matter how catchy the words are, like, you need to have that melody. Like Oasis. Oasis is 99.9% melody. Their songs are not overly complex. They do the cowboy chords and all that stuff, but their melodies are just, you're never going to get that out of your head. It's just stuck in there. So I think melody's definitely a huge factor. Huge.
Now, how about the lyrics? How important is that with you? Not only your stuff, but music in general.
To me, my lyrics, I definitely focus on that probably the most. But lyrics they're so important because I don't want it to be like I love you, I miss you, goodbye. I want it to be like a story. I want it to be like, oh wow, that lyric connects to me so perfectly, and I get it, and it's what I'm going through right now. So that's like, it's a connector. It connects everybody together. Because you might not, there's most people who are listening to music aren't musicians. Most of them. They don't have any idea what guitar you're using. They don't care what key it's in. But they care about the words. Because that's like, oh, that's me. That's my friend. That's that guy down the street.
You know somebody who's had a similar story.
Yes, exactly.
How often do you go back and forth to Nashville from Jersey?
I've been going... I met Erin and Houston. We were messaging back and forth on Instagram. It's this last year, September. So this will be my 4th trip there. And we did this. We're finishing up 2 albums. So I did 10 songs with them for 2 trips, 5 songs and 5 songs. I stayed there for about 3 or 4 days. And just to give you guys an idea of what Off the Road Studios is, it's in Nashville, Tennessee. You go in, you meet with Houston, who is the proprietor. He's the man. He produces, he records you, and he'll have session musicians. So there'll be 4 guys that are, that's their job. They go in, they record a song. They don't make mistakes, which is like insane. They're like, I kind of hail it towards like the Wrecking Crew and the Motown musicians. They just go in, all right, what's the song? And they play it, and it's perfect. So I don't have to do much except don't screw up and sing well. And basically I guide them through the song with my vocal. And we can do, I go there at 9 a.m. By 3 p.m. we'll have 5 songs done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it almost like, and I love the guy, for everything he's done, but like Don Henley?
Yeah.
Where he's so meticulous about, not only with there's the famous Desperado story, obviously, where they were taping that or recording over in England, and they had the band there. I'm trying to think, what was it? With the shit. But they had the studio musicians asking, what's a desperado? And they were literally, between everything, were playing chess and stuff. It's like, they couldn't be bothered.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was the orchestra.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's what it was. I remember that story. Yeah, the orchestra, they were so good. They were just like, this is nothing to us. Yeah. We can do this in our sleep. And they were like, what? And they're like playing chess, and I think they were drinking tea. And he's like, are you guys going to like pay attention to my song? And then they just did it perfectly in one take.
And the other one that when I think of Don Henley was, what's the song he did with Trisha Yearwood?
Oh, I don't know.
Hold on, I was gonna look it up on my phone because I know the song. It's one of those mornings.
Yeah.
But so apparently they had the song recorded. Everything was put to bed, and Don Henley calls and goes, I really want to re-record that again. When they're like 95% done with the process of putting stuff together. And it was like, you want to do what? It was Walk Away Joe.
Okay, yeah.
But, yeah, Don Henley is a perfectionist.
Oh, yeah.
They did the session together, and this was not like where they had the home studios and everybody does everything on their own. They actually went into the studio.
And it cost a lot of money back then.
Yeah,
I heard another story about him when he was doing Boys of Summer.
Yeah.
Because Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers wrote it. He wrote the song, and Don came in and was like, oh, I love that song. So they were doing it together. And he did it all with like a little drum machine.
Yeah.
Mike Campbell's a genius. And he was just made all the backup tracks with his drum machine, and he played guitar on top of it. And they did the song. And I remember the story, Bob Seger walked in and when they were demoing it, like playing it for everyone. Everyone was all excited. And Bob Seger's listening. He's like, man, that song's great, Don. Why'd you sing it so low? Chicks like it when you sing high. Yeah. And Don's face melted. And he's like, we have to redo the whole song. And they redid the whole song in a higher key after it was all done.
Or it was like what you're saying with the drum machine and everything else like that.
Oh, like Lynn Drum Machine. Lynn Drum Machine. That's what they're called. Yeah.
But it was same with Hotel California when Don Frye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wrote that at the beach house or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they, had the little clicks and everything and played guitar over it, and that story's been told as well too. Mm-hmm. But since you bring up Boys of Summer, and you would appreciate this, I think, being a local guy. You familiar with the Hooters? And we danced and. All that stuff from the 80s.
Yeah.
They did a version on their live album recently at the Electric Factory of Boys of Summer.
Oh, really?
An acoustic set. I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it fit so well but they put that together as new music as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think it had guys from the Hooters and stuff. Eric Brazilian exactly had a challenge that way differently with writing music. And I know we're all over the place, folks. But when he brought his girlfriend over from Sweden, who's now his wife, and she was intrigued by him being a professional musician, because he's written stuff for not only the Hooters, but they've written for, like Cyndi Lauper and all these other, they got Joan Osborne was one of his songs.
Okay.
What If God Was One of Us?
Oh, yeah.
That Joan made it famous, but that was one of Eric's songs.
Oh, okay.
That was actually done as a bet on that trip when the girlfriend, now wife, came over from Sweden. She flew over, goes to the airport, picks up, goes home, and it was, so what do you do? And look at some of the things, because he had like a little setup to record stuff at home, with the soundboard and this, that, and the other. A lot more advanced than what I got right now, but he goes, well, this does this, and he goes, and he just hits that, just off the cuff. Oh, I like it. Can you make a song out of it? She was tired, fell asleep, and I was like, next thing you know, he had a song by 3 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, like I said, What If God Was One of Us?
Yeah. And the whole world heard that song, that's for sure, man.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Off a bet, that's wild.
Yeah, it was like, can you make a song out of it? And he liked the riff of it.
Yeah.
Just did that, with the acoustic guitar. And because we're going to film something here, I'll throw it on the TikTok. We just started and all that stuff and make it a separate YouTube video. But what's next for you?
So I'm going back to Nashville on the 27th, and we're finishing up 5 more songs that I co-wrote. This is the first time I've co-written with anybody, and it's a pretty good first time because I'm co-writing with Erin McCaffrey, who's one of the owners, and Danny Wells. Danny Wells is a songwriter, pretty prestigious songwriter. He wrote for George Strait, Rascal Flatts, Craig Morgan, like a lot of big country guys. And he wrote the song Check Yes or No, which was George Strait's biggest hit. And he's pretty big. And out of the kindness of his heart, because Off the Row is basically, their whole mission is to bring unknown artists to the mainstream and help them get established and get big. And Danny kind of hopped on that horse as well because he wants to help upcoming writers and singers get better songs. And Danny's pretty incredible. He writes a lot of great stuff. So I'm going back there on the 27th, and I'll be at the Country Music Seminar on the 28th and 1st to do some more interviews to promote the song Nashville.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to be seeing a different PR group, but they all know each other, obviously. And thank you, Sherry, for hooking us up.
Oh yeah, thanks, Sherry, for sure.
She gets cringeworthy a little bit by being promoted, but Sherry, I gotta give you a plug. Thank you. But I'm gonna be seeing and doing stuff with Ali Colleen on Saturday.
Okay.
She's gonna be up at Ben Sound with Lee Bryce.
Oh, nice, awesome.
They're gonna be up at that Parks Casino.
Awesome, man.
So gonna catch up with her again, and which is a great singer songwriter that she is. She got. If you hear that, folks, I know we're here to talk about Chris, but...
Oh, no, please, plug her.
Yeah, check out her new single. You'll see it on the Facebook group and page and all that stuff. So, support her. I know they're trying to get to 100,000 songs as well, or listens on Spotify alone, so...
Awesome.
Make it, so that'll be fun. But do you drive down to Nashville, or do you fly? How do you usually do it?
I fly.
Okay.
I fly there. It's like an hour, 45. It's a quick flight. I mean, it's quicker than Florida. So I'll get there, rent a car, go to the studio. I work. I'm there from 9 a.m. when we do the demos with the band, the session musicians. Done at 3 with them. They leave. They're done. And then I go back at 5 and I record the main final vocal. And I'm there as long as it needs to be. So they're long days, but very rewarding. Houston's the man. I learned a lot from him. He's been doing this forever, and he's worked with some iconic people as well. I mean, I'll be talking to him. He's like, oh, yeah, I did work with Gene Simmons. He'll be like, and he'll remember things. But, I did work with Meisner, who was the bass player for the Eagles. I'm like,
Poco.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, he'll just name drop people. I'm like, this guy's the real deal, and he's very talented, and he's making me a lot better. So I'm very appreciative of Off the Row, Erin and Houston, and them believing in me and giving me these opportunities, and Sherry with the PR getting me all these interviews. So it's been very exciting since September when we started together. So looking forward to more.
Well, here's a little, since we mentioned Randy Meisner, and...
Oh, yeah, Randy Meisner. What a voice.
Oh, exactly. And I think we just recently lost him, didn't we?
Yeah, I think he passed a year or two ago.
Yeah, it wasn't too long.
Yeah.
But the reason I wanted to say it, since you brought his name up, is I'll throw a little musical trivia for you here, folks. And you may or may not know this. Randy Meisner started with Poco in the 70s. And that's when he was recruited to come with the Eagles when Glenn Frey and Don Henley were leaving Linda Ronstadt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of the vocals and everything else, like you said. So when Randy leaves the band, they replace him from, surprisingly, another musician from Poco, and Timothy B. Schmidt.
I know, yeah, I remember that.
That's to have both your high-pitched guys, bass players and such, do that. It's funny that it comes back from the same But Timothy's issue was Poco wasn't paying shit at
Yeah.
the time, as big as they were. But
Poco had a lot of people through there.
yeah,
They did. But yeah, my family is, my parents were huge Poco fans. So yeah, just some people just have God-given talent. Like they're not taught anything; they just are. And I think Randy Meisner was one of those guys.
yeah, exactly.
His vocal on "Take It to the Limit," like how you gonna copy that?
You can't.
No, it's just perfect.
I'd be afraid to drop a couple of,
Yeah, oh my God.
just how high that is.
Yeah, it's like a chick singing it. It's like crazy. It's like like Steve Perry. Like,
Yeah.
how you gonna? Well, they did kind of replace him, but I was like, not really. I mean, Steve Perry in his
Steve
prime,
Perry's, yeah.
he was incredible.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for making the trip,
Oh, no,
the
of
time, all that fun stuff. Hey there, Friday fans. We know how much you enjoy the movies. Enjoy grabbing your Friday merchandise and interacting with the Friday family, whether it be at conventions or during our particular watch-alongs. Well, when you're looking to get yourself masks, why not check out our friends over at Camp Blood Customs out of New York State and order your specific custom mask from any of the films. All orders are made specifically. Your needs and wants are. Make sure you find Camp Blood Customs on Facebook, Instagram, and all over social media and order yours today.
Hey you guys, this is Allie Pauline, and you are listening to Crazy Train Radio.